All right, so put your hands up for Mr. Darrell as he does it.
Alright, so first before I'm gonna start it off, I just want to ask y'all a quick question. So who in here thinks they know what the most important asset is in the world? Like, the most important asset. Okay. Okay. Anybody else? Y'all want? Alright. Well, personally, I feel like the most important asset is the mind personally, because I realize how powerful the mind is. So mentally, I know we can accomplish anything, but first it starts with our mindset. So like personally, I was, like I said, like he spoke on it, I was depressed. It started in middle school, honestly, and it traveled up into high school. I mean, many people won't be like transparent enough to say that, but that is the truth. So like I said, once I realized it in middle school, I wasn't as open about it, if that makes sense. Like that's not something many people share with different people, you feel me? Like nobody will really share a story like that with people. So one thing I learned, like he said last week, well not even last week, my favorite quote is, you never heal what you never reveal. So I had to come to terms and start revealing that depression, because that's what started the healing process. So once I started revealing that, that's what started the process, and it made everything easier. I'm not saying it happened overnight, but like I said, it started in middle school and it traveled over into high school. So with that, I wound up going through it was like more. One reason I was depressed, I could say, like it was looking for validation from others. I mean, I'm sure we all can relate to that to an extent. Everybody can relate. They're looking for validation from others at some point in time, correct? Okay, so that was one of the reasons why, and I had to overcome that. So I had to become in tune with myself. So that was one of the main things that helped me, like cutting off a lot of stuff like that was negative. It wasn't benefiting me in no such way. I had to cut it off. Like for one, I had to get rid of social media for a while, like separate from, because you know we see a lot of stuff on social media that bothers us. Like for example, we see people getting money, or they doing this, they doing that, and it make us feel like, why we not doing that, correct? Everybody can relate to that? Yeah. Okay. So it's like, so once I realized that, it was like, I had to overcome that, and I just like get away from that. So that was one of the reasons I had to break myself away from social media. So through that all, like searching with that and different other issues such as family issues, I was suffering from it. I finally overcame it, and once I overcame it, that's when I brought my brand together, evolving through experience, because this experience is something that personally helped me grow. So it's like I wanted to show that to the world. So personally, besides just sharing my story, I wanted to search for other people's stories and share their stories also, because that's something that motivates me, not just my story. So when I hear other people's stories, that really motivates me, and I'm sure it can help other people. So I started evolving through experience LLC, and I'm bringing that together now still. Y'all can also check out the website, evolvingthroughexperience.com, and I brought that together from overcoming those experiences. So instead of looking at experiences from a negative perspective, I switched it and started looking at it from a positive perspective. So like, for example, I'm gonna give y'all a real life example. Earlier this year, it was in February, I had an uncle/brother, 23 years old, that passed away. So, and to this day, I don't know why. We don't know why. Even with the autopsy, like he was in fine. Like just on social media, like we could see healthy pictures from he lived in the Bronx. So healthy pictures, everything. Like nothing seemed wrong with him. So then next thing we know, he got checked into the hospital in the Bronx, and next thing you know, he never made it out. Like within the next few days. But even with the autopsy came back, we still don't know like what happened to him. So it's like he just got sick out of nowhere and he passed away personally, but I don't know the exact story, but I wish I knew exactly what happened to him. But instead of looking at it from a negative perspective, I looked at it as a positive perspective now, and it allowed it to help me live my best life for other people that can't. So that's why one thing I say, I live my best life for the people I do know and the people I don't know. Everybody can relate to that, that makes sense? So again, so that's why I started evolving through experience and looking at different stuff from a better perspective, and that's what I'm trying to do, change the narrative. So I started out with hats with evolving through experience, because I realized the most important asset is our mindset. So once we prepare up here mentally, everything else is more of a breeze to an extent. Of course, it's not going to happen like easy, but it's more of just a mental process. So once we figure out how to have our mindset in correct state, everything else is a process, and it allows us to keep evolving and growing. Well, that's honestly just brief my story. Honestly, is just overcoming that, and that's why I am who I am today. So at the end of the day, I continue to look at things from a positive perspective and continue to evolve. So even like different experiences that I have right now on college, on FESU campus, I continue to grow. Like no matter what it is, like trying something new, even if it don't benefit. No, I won't say it don't benefit me, but it doesn't happen in the way I expected it to. I still look at it from a positive perspective and keep growing from it. So instead of bringing that negative energy in and like, oh dang, it should have went this way, it should have went that way, I just let it be what it's gonna be and keep evolving and like let it growing from that. So do I have anybody got any questions for me so far?
So how did you come up with the name Evolving Through Experience?
Because of my personal experience of how that exact happened, like I realized it made me a better person. So I just put the name together, Evolving Through Experience, and that's another reason I put ING, because it's a continuous process, not just evolve through experience, but evolving through experience. Because as we live, we're gonna continue to have different experiences. So we continue to grow from those. So that's why I named it Evolving Through Experience LLC. And that's all I'm trying to do is keep evolving in every way aspect, and also help others do the same.
So like, what do you see your brand like 10 years from now?
10 years from now, I could see it doing a lot of things. Of course, having other branching out and having like other companies under it, doing different things. But also, I want to have hopefully be conducting interviews with other people that overcame stories and are open to express those stories and experiences, so it can help others overcome those that may have dealt with the same exact thing.